With the 303, Inwin is offering what seems to be a beautiful and innovative minimalistic design with a large tempered glass side panel, all at under $100. Today we're going to explore whether this case is worth your money or if Inwin has cut too many corners to bring the case down to the price it's currently at. So the Inwin 303 is a mid-tower case made of steel and plastic and features a huge tempered glass side panel. This case features an almost entirely black aesthetic except for the blue front panel I/O, which makes me wonder why they decided to go with this color, seeing that it will deter many people who do not want the blue as a part of their color scheme. I do not mind this color and actually do think it looks good, especially when it's lit up with the built-in illumination, but I would have preferred to see a more neutral color like a gray on the front panel I/O. Taking a quick physical tour of the front, we have your usual set of I/O with 4 USB ports, 2 of which are USB 3, mic and headphone inputs, as well as a power and reset button. Other than that, the front is a solid panel with no intake. Moving to the top, we see another solid panel with again no exhaust or intake. Moving on to the back, we see a standard ATX I/O layout with a spot for a top-mounted power supply that sits on its side and room for a 120mm exhaust fan. The front side panel is a large metal and tempered glass panel that features a toolless mechanism for removal, which does work, but doesn't work as well as I would have liked, taking much more force than I expected to remove it. The back side panel, we find a similar installation and removal method, but with 2 thumb screws holding it in place. We also see an interesting honeycomb design that is used for exhaust. On the bottom of the case, we find black plastic pedestal feet with a large side removable dust filter, which is both convenient and easy to take in and out. Inside the case, we find room for an ATX motherboard and ample room for water cooling. The case supports up to a 360mm radiator on the top and a 120mm radiator in the back. These spots would all be for exhaust, with the bottom 3 filtered 120mm spots meant for intake. This case was designed to intake air from the bottom and expel it from the back of the case by the I/O and through the back side panel through the honeycomb cutouts. This is a pretty interesting and innovative take on airflow that I personally haven't seen before. In terms of drive support, out of the box, this case supports 2 2.5-inch drives in the front and 2 3.25-inch drives in the back. Drives are mounted to these removable plates that attach to the case with thumb screws. I think this works fairly well, especially for showing off your SSDs in the front of the case, but installing 3.5-inch drives will take up a considerable portion of room for cable management in the back. Speaking of cable management, even though there is ample room behind the motherboard tray, there are no tie-down points, which shows a lack of attention to detail on Inwin's part. In terms of power supply, this case supports up to a 200mm PSU, and even with non-modular power supplies, this case will look clean, especially when you populate the top 3 fan spots. This case supports cards up to 300mm and coolers up to 160mm tall. You can fit ATX, MATX, and even mini ITX boards inside of this chassis. Overall, building in this case was very easy, and other than the lack of cable tie-down points, I really don't have any major complaints. For around $90, you're getting a very beautiful and minimal case with a truly innovative and unique design. Though I think Inwin did overlook a few details like non-resealable hardware bags, overall this case offers a lot of value for the money, and I can honestly recommend it to someone for a premium looking and feeling case on a budget. One thing to note is that because this case is a large steel case, it is very heavy, and with a full system, it is truly a hassle to move around, which for the average person may not be a big deal, but if you like to move your system around a lot, it's something to consider. Overall, this case provides a great value for the money, and I can definitely recommend it. So yeah guys, this wraps this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, and consider subscribing for much more technology and PC related content in the future. And as always, this is Matt from Tech by Matt, signing out.